Hello and welcome everyone to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. This is your weekly live tournament rundown show where we talk about the biggest and best tournaments going on all over the world. We have 4 events, 4 events to talk to you about this week. I'm excited. My name is Paul, joined by Adam Camilleri.
Good day, everybody.
And Dustin Henshaw.
Good day.
It is good. It is a stellar week of 40K.
Banger.
4 100 plus player events, one of them being 300 plus players. And yeah, you don't want to go anywhere. You want to be strapped in for this. This is a wild new world.
Warhammer is alive. Some new things out there injected into the meta. We're going to see if they make that ripple like we were expecting them to. I mentioned we do this live. We do it every week at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We got some great folks in the chat. So good to see y'all hanging out with us from Atlanta, right down the road from me. Nurgle Matt, Steve, Canadian there, hanging out. Has to be.
I hope so.
I like to think it's a gentleman named Steve. He doesn't love that he was called Steve. He's like, yeah, Steve.
Steve.
Downvoting people. Hope you're upvoting us, giving us those thumbs up and the comments and everything else. Anyway, welcome everybody. Let's jump into it. I mentioned we got those 4 events. First one being Rocky Top Open, the Alamo GT, Bay Area Open, and then the International Team Tournament. We're going to give you some coverage of that. Rocky Top Open, Knoxville, Tennessee, 140 players, a 7-round event.
Whew. Okay, so this one we're going to be seeing in the Imperial Super Faction. There are 9 Sisters of Battle, 5 Custodes, 1 Admech, 10 Astra Militarum, 3 Grey Knights, 5 Imperial Knights, Space Marines. There's 4 Astartes, 4 Dark Angels, 3 Space Wolves, 5 Blood Angels, and 8 Black Templar. I'm actually surprised to see the Black Templar in the numbers like that right now. They seem to have got hit pretty hard, but I like it. I'm glad to see it. Okay. Chaos, there's 2 Chaos Space Marines, 7 T-Suns, 5 Death Guard, 4 World Leaders, 5 Demons, and 3 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 11 Necrons, 18 Orcs. Yeah, saw that coming. It begins.
The Wah's way.
13 Tau, 6 Votan. Hivemind, there's 2 Tyranids and 6 G-Sealer called. Wait, what? Is Ascension Day coming, boys? Is it on its way? I feel like it's on its way. This is a precursor. There's no way there's 6 of them there. Eldari, there's 1 Drukhari, and
it's actually all of the folks from all over the world that are onesie twosie. They've united. Their tunnels have collided, and here they come.
It's funny because the Codex should be coming soon because they have teased a bit of it now, right? So I guess all the GSC players just got excited, like, hey, let's get some games in with the current Codex so we can really feel the difference when the Codex comes out. That does mean the faction podium is Orcs topping it off with 18, of course. Tau, a close second with 13. I say close, but it's actually 5 behind. Necrons right behind them with 11. That is a green cliff now.
It is indeed. The Wa energy is massing, and you will see this faction podium is not an aberration as far as we unpack the rest of the week's events. Tau in second is quite a surprise, but they did just get their codex fully fledged injected into the meta, so not surprised to see people going back to that in a big way. I did want to take some time to find out how many recruit lists there were, but I just didn't have the extra 45 to go fair. scanning. I wanted to find one to do the faction break.
There is a lot of enthusiasm around that.
Well, dude, Tau players have been waiting for anything, any reason to all in on the carnivals.
You feel like they've been joking about it for a long time. They're just like, we want this. We want to run a full crew. They're like, okay, well, here you go. And now they're like, oh, you were kidding.
Well,
but it's nice that you can.
You can, yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
And while the rules, the rules are good. The miniatures are super stellar, incredible. The data sheets are you want the 3 head, you want the triumvirate, beautiful models, great rules, great data sheets. And 2 out of 3 ain't bad, baby. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. I mean, if you have the models, then this is your time to bring them out, especially the new ones. Like you said, they are stellar.
Oh, incredible. One list to pull out for your viewing pleasure. This is Mike Perry, who we always knows is a wild man of the South, and he is doing wild stuff here. This list does not make much sense to me. So, but I'm hoping you guys can shine some light on it. It's a dread mob of orcs, and when I hear dread mob, I think killer cans, I think Morkanauts, Gorkanauts, hell, even a stomper. He has none of those things. He has a big mech with shock attack gun. With the Gitfinder goggles, which I can't remember which one that is. That might be the Ignor's cover. Someone in chat might correct me on that because I'm not 100% locked in on all the enhancements yet. Snickrot, ubiquitous, always good. Every detachment, slap Snickrot in there. Warboss and Megarama, and Zodrog, who goes with 20 Gretchen, which is the next one. And then he's got 5 times 10 Gretchen. So this is not much of a Walker list. It's more of a Gretchen list, which I think is really kind of cool. 3 single Death Dreads, which does add a hell of a lot of punch, especially in combat. Max Commandos, 3x10 Commandos. So a lot of infiltrating, a lot of shenanigans up the table. 10 looters to go with the big mech with shock attack gun, because of course they will give the big mech rerolls to hit and actually can spike some hellacious damage. 6 mega knobs, 3 single mech guns with smasher guns, which I think is probably the best universal profile, and then 3x5 storm boys for your utility and action doing. So if this list could have been any detachment almost, it could have been the index detachment. It would have made sense. But the heavy on the Gretchen, I think, is really, really cool here.
Makes sense. Gretchen are piloting the killicans. Sometimes maybe they're out of the killicans.
Yeah,
and it's a theme list here.
So Mark Perry naturally looks at things different to others, and he looks at the dread mob and he doesn't see the Walker list; he sees the Gretchen list, and that's what he's done here. So I think this is a really cool list. It's more well-rounded, less of a skew list than I'd think for dread mob, but I still think it's going to do really well. I love all the commandos with Snickrot starting up the table, and then straight after they go in, you can have a Storm Boys, backing them up, and then you've got a hammer unit in the Mega Knobs. You've got a bit of shooting and Daka in the looters to clear some screens, and also you have a really cool screen yourself, which is the way I think this is going to work is that Zodrog and the 20 Gretchen go up, make a big old line, box you in, and then straight behind them is the 30 commandos who actually go in surgically and pick up resources. So I think the way those two units work together is really exciting.
No, that's exactly what it's going to be. This is the kind of list that they're going to be trying to pin them in. It's going to be a differential list too. It can push hard in the differential, get a very big lead early on, and if you can't clear enough boys, by boys I mean commandos, enough Gretchen early on, you're just going to fall too far behind and not be able to come back, even if you can kill them.
Yeah, exactly right. And the Gretchen with Zodrog,
that's why you didn't have the killer cans in there.
Love it. It's also a dread mob list that doesn't give up, bring it down, which is what a lot of people saying is the iffy bit, because of course orcs going to get stuck in, going to get crumping, going to give your opponent the opportunity to get a good score and bring it down. This one doesn't give up, bring it down. It actually doesn't give up assassinate that readily either, because while Zodrog might go down, he's on the front line. Warboss and Megarama is very hard to kill. Big mech with 10 looters shielding it is pretty hard to kill, and Snickrot's lone up jumping around, so he's going to be hard to kill as well.
Assassinate's not a thing in this one at all.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Yeah. If we ever get what is it called now? Thin the ranks? Is that what it used to be called?
Yeah.
If we ever get that again with the new missions, maybe then these kind of things will actually it's going to matter.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah, exactly right. But anyway, that is the coverage of the Rocky Top. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying that one. That is where Joe will be and where you can get your War Games live coverage this weekend, and should be a great event.
Now's the time where we pick a faction to be the winner here. We actually grade ourselves on how well we did these predictions in our second show that we do for Patreon Tier 2 subscribers and higher. So you can kind of hear us run down the results of all these events in that show, where we also talk about what did win, the top 10s, and maybe some novel lists that jumped out at us, plus a little poking fun at each other for how either right or wrong we are. We can find any excuse to give each other some grief. You don't want to miss that if it's right for you to subscribe at one of those levels.
Tap it. Why not? Get on it. What picks do we want? Dustin, would you like to take it away first? It's been a while since you went first.
I mean, am I not picking orcs?
Yeah, fair. Paul, what would you like?
Let's see. Orcs seems like to pretty stand out, but what took down orcs this weekend?
Yes, was
at
Tyranids.
The Dallas Open was Tyranids, so I'm going to go Tyranids.
Well, funny you say that, because I'm very, very surprised and almost disappointed in you, Dustin, with 6 with 6 Gene Stealer Co players in attendance, you weren't willing to go it. And I actually am of the opinion that GSE don't have an awful game into Orcs, especially Bully Balls.
Oh, they have an amazing game to most armies.
Yeah.
The problem is that I feel like all these guys just came out of retirement right now to start playing GSC because the Codex is coming. So, they don't have the practice games in. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll give
I'm going to
them
go with the Tau. I'm going to go with the Tau. I think Tau have good Orc and Necron killing abilities, which is the other 2 factions on the podium. And with the right player, I can go the distance.
Seems pretty good. The next event we're going to talk about is the Alamo GT. That's in San Antonio, Texas. That is
KR Quinn saying 1 list. Come on, man. Mate, we are doing 4 events.
4 events.
We have to make some limitations in order to pack in and do justice to everybody attending and I'd rather give a little coverage to everybody than have to cut any of these awesome, amazing events and have them sit on the sidelines. So
KR,
I acknowledge your feedback and I discard it.
There you go.
No, good to see you in chat. But also,
we love you.
We know you'll hear it in the second show, the part 2 that we do.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, man. We appreciate you a lot.
Have some more lists.
You're a great supporter.
Alamo GT, 112 players, a 6-round event. What are we going to see there?
For this one, the Imperial Super Faction, there are 3 Sisters to Battle, 4 Custodes, 2 Admech, 8 Astra Militarum, 5 Grey Knights, 4 Imperial Knights, Space Marines, or 6 Adeptus Astartes, 3 Dark Angels, 4 Space Wolves, 4 Blendos, 1 Death Watch, and 4 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 4 Chaos Space Marines, 4 T-Suns, 3 Death Guards, 7 World Eaters, 4 Demons, and 5 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 6 Necrons, 10 Orcs, no real surprise again, 3 Tau, 3 Votan, Hive Mind, there's 5 Tyranids. There's the one Gene Stealer called. That makes more sense.
There he is.
Eldari, there's 3 Drukhari and 4 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Orcs topping it off yet again with 10. Astra Militarum pulling in a close second this time with 8, and then World Eaters behind that with 7.
Yeah, really interesting spread here. Very unique. And of course, with 3 very large events happening in the States, it's actually not surprising that one of them would have a bit of a spicier meta, or a bit more distribution between factions. Because once we get past the World is at 7, there are a bunch of 6s, a huge amount of 5s and 4s. So the distribution of factions is actually really nice once you get off the podium. Like, 5 Tyranids, stuff like that. Like we said, the 6 Necrons, 5 Chaos Knights, etc. And 6 Adeptus Astartes. But this one is going to be an interesting one in a lot of different ways, because I'm not sure this is going to be so easy to pick.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's actually a really nice spread in here.
Yeah.
And even some of the lesser represented factions are in the 4s and 5s. So that's...
Yeah, that's correct. Still got 4 Custodies.
That's crazy.
Champions. 5 Grey Knights as well. And Grey Knights, I think, are just like on any given day can win any given event. Like right player, right run can absolutely beat everybody in the top bracket.
Why are the Sisters numbers dropping? You think they'd
I don't know
behind them, right? Because they're getting the Codex soon too. But
that's correct. They had a really good representation in the previous event. 9 Sisters of Battle in Rocky Top, but yeah, pretty low here, only 3. So I'm not sure. I mean, Sisters players are pretty diehards. It's actually quite interesting to see how many, like, when you get to factions where I play Sisters.
Yeah.
As a me putting, pretending I'm a Sisters player. They play like 1, maybe 2 factions, and that's it. And they're very much diehard. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a smaller microcosm of the Sisters meta, and they've just all decided to go to Rocky Top.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. Spoiled for choice, the United States. I am jelly.
I don't know.
Jelly.
Like, that's a long way away from each other, by the way. Those are.
That's true. That's true.
Like a long way.
But if your rival is going to one of them, you have to go to the same one as your rival, right?
No. When you factor in, there's one in Tennessee, the 100 plus player event. There's one in Texas, 100 plus player event, and there's one in California, 100 plus player event. That's like 3 of the quarters.
Those are thousands of miles away from each other.
Actually, sorry. Okay,
geography,
Paul.
Adam. Geography.
Okay, Paul.
Come on.
Become the pigeon. How far away is San Antonio from Knoxville,
there we go.
Tennessee?
How good are you doing this with
San Antonio from Knoxville,
States?
Tennessee? 1,100 miles.
Distance from Knoxville, Tennessee to San Antonio, Texas. All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna be the pigeon.
What was your answer?
1,100.
Dude, 1117.
What? Are you kidding me?
You're a freak. You're a freak.
Wow.
All right. We're gonna do San Antonio to San Francisco.
San Antonio to San Francisco. Am I doing this one or are you doing this?
Yeah, no, you're doing it.
You're doing it.
We're gonna see if that was just lucky.
Yeah, I want to say 2,500. 2,512.
In miles? Nah, it's a bit less. Oh. In kilometers, you are almost dead on. In non-freedom units, you're quite close. But yeah, so in kilometers, what did you say?
2,512.
25. It's 27 kilometers. 2,700 kilometers. It's 1,700 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. Not quite.
Couldn't quite place San Antonio in Texas.
It's like top rightish, middle rightish, yeah.
So it's deep in the heart.
Yeah, it's pretty far. Yeah, but it's to the right. It's like next to it's. I'm not saying next to Houston, but it's adjacent to Houston, like on the same line, the same parallel. Because there's still probably a couple 100 miles between. But anyway, moving on. One list for your viewing pleasure. This one, we managed to actually see this one in action in Dallas last weekend. This is Russell Tassin. And the reason I'm pulling this list up is because it is a Chaos Space Marine specialist playing with like essentially one of the best Chaos Space Marine lists out there at the moment. He did extremely well at Dallas with this list. We were able to see it on stream. You can go back and watch that if you so please. But this is where we're leaving off. This is probably the last week of the index, and the codex will be coming in next week. And so I wanted to give you people a snapshot. This is where we're at right now with Chaos Space Marines. So we've got, of course, Slaves to Darkness, Abaddon, Master Possession, 4 units of 5 Legionaries, 2 Rhinos to tote around all the Legionaries, 2 units of 3 Bikers, 3 Predator Destructors, 5 Terminators to go with Abby, 5 a single Hellbrute, 5 Possessed to go with the Master Possession, 3 Nurglings, 10 Plague Bearers, which I actually really like the fact that he put.
That was an interesting choice.
Yeah, they're just like where a lot of people just use cultists to hold their backfield. They get blown up. Like 3 Inceptors come down and make an absolute mess of them and steal your home objective. Whereas 10 Plague Bearers on your backfield, like there's not many small utility units that want to dive into your backfield and think they're going to pick up 2 wound toughness 5 with an invuln on 10 guys. So I actually quite like the addition of the Plague Bearers here. And also if they go forward, if you want, turn 1 and become the first thing that people have to try and remove on an objective, and they're actually taking over commitment because they have that profile that is kind of really awkward. Like bolt guns don't go out and kill Plague Bearers, like unless you're using like friggin' aggressors, and then you're just giving something amazing for your Predator Destructors to absolutely annihilate. So I do like how they operate in this list. And I do like the Hellbrute as well. The Hellbrute being like the last thing you send out, and it's there to make ssure you get double pacts on
all the benefit from packs.
Yeah, or full benefit from pact. And then of course you got Abaddon with the Terminators. Abby just went down 15 points. Master Possession and the Possessed just went down in points. This thing actually got quite a bit cheaper. It's like 30-40 points cheaper. And then it's just going to get an incredible amount of depth added from the Codex. So even if you would just take this list, slap it into the Veterans of the Long War one, which is the pseudo Space Marine one with the Oath of Moment ability, or chuck it in the Renegade Raiders
one.
Sorry.
Because Abaddon has contempt for the other Chaos Legions.
You are correct. You are in fact correct. Or the Renegade Raiders, in which case those Predator Destructors are a house in that list. They just absolutely pop off with that plus AP on objectives. The Predator autocannons feel really, really powerful. So this is a great list by Russell. I expect him to do extremely well at this event also. I do think it's a little bit hard to expect the Chaos Space Marines to do the 6-0s and 7-0s at the moment, but Russell's definitely good for a 5-1. Absolutely. So gents, we'll take some picks. Paul, you want to go first? Sorry, Paul?
Orcs.
Yeah.
Orcs. Dusty, what do you want?
I'm going to take Astra Militarum.
Dang, you took my pick.
I mean, strangely enough, actually, I think Orcs with the Green Tide is really what's going to take it if it's there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an interesting matchup now, seeing World Eaters in decent numbers here. I would love to see some World Eaters versus Orcs.
That'd be a fun game.
I think that is so cool. I think Angron is one of the very few things in the game that can reliably go like charge a unit of Bully Boys with the Feel No Pain and just be like, a D6 plus 2 damage does not care about your 4 Feel No Pain, sir. Take 8 saves. Everyone take 8 Feel No Pains. You only got 3 wounds, baby. Ooh. He can also bounce as well, but here we are. We play with what we got. I am going to be a spicy boy and pick Grey Knights.
Okay.
This is my X Factor pick.
We're seeing Grey Knights go very deep in tournaments. I think it just takes a little bit of luck.
Well, and
break through whatever that threshold is.
Not messing up. Anytime you mess up, like you make a mistake, because it is like the big I messed up, I lost 3 Dread Knights this turn, or it's the you can't actually hurt me, shoot me, do anything to my army, and I rickroll the hell out of you. And it's just like there's very little in between between those two.
Yeah.
But faction specialists on Grey Knights are terrifying.
Yeah, agreed. Next event we're going to talk about is the Venerable Bay Area Open. It's right outside of San Francisco, California. 155 players, a 6th round event. Always some great play here. This event attracts lots of top quality players. Anyway, great event with a lot of history.
Yeah, this is one of the traditional majors. Like, I mean, this was one of the first, big events of 7th edition where, like events were really starting to ramp up and get going. So this thing's been going for what, a decade now, possibly more.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic to see these venerable like lineage events go year after year. The belt of Russ, I think, is just one of those cool trophies. I mean, you don't get to keep it; you get to put it on, take a couple of pictures and whatnot. But the fact is, you get to add yourself to that lineage. I think is really cool. Like for winning that BAO.
Oh, for sure. I think that's actually one of the best parts, if not the best part about that event, just having that lineage attached to you if you win. There's the big names attached, there's some really good people attached to it. So,
Joel, the Orc Area Open. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. But anyway. Take it away.
So in this one we were seeing in the Imperial Super Faction, there are 4 Sisters of Battle, 5 Custodes, 2 Admech, 10 Astra Militarum again. Astra Militarum out in force this week. 5 Grey Knights, 5 Imperial Knights. Actually, that 5 Imperial Knights is a big number too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Space Marines, there's 8 Astartes, 4 Dark Angels, 4 Space Wolves, 5 Blood Angels, 1 Death Watch, and 3 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 10 Chaos Space Marines, 1 T-Sun, 8 Death Guards, 7 World Leaders, 6 Demons, and 4 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 11 Necrons, 13 Orcs, 10 Tau, 4 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 6 Tyranids, and 4 Jesus are called. Where'd these guys all come from? Oh my God, it's all in the same country too.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. I'm just
that's like, dude, that's 11 Gene Stealer Cult players in the United States right now. That's 10 more than we thought they were.
That's true. That's 10 more than we thought we were in the entire world,
In the world, yeah.
And the Eldari, there is 7 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Orcs once again for the 3rd time, topping it at 13. The Necrons behind them at 11, and then Tau, CSM, and Astra Militarum tied in 3rd with 10.
Definitely seeing that Chaos Space Marines wave approaching, where people who are Chaos Space Marine players but have been off playing Death Guard, Thousand Sons World Eaters right now are coming back to it just before the Codex launch. We always call this the little wave, the little meta surge before the crest, so to speak, before the tidal wave of what I expect to be the next couple of months, having CSM being like 1 and Orcs like 1, 2, somewhere in 1, 2, 3 on our podium.
It's the same thing with the G Circle, right? Because that's the only reason they were all showing up there. So we got a tease, and they're like, we're getting Codex. Let's get some games in.
Yeah. Let's get some games in. And you're absolutely right. It's always, because especially in 10th edition, because we did see this in 9th edition and there was a little bit less reason to in 9th edition. But in 10th edition, when like more often than not, your index detachment is going to be a part of your codex. So you're not playing with an invalid thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Before your codex drops. You're playing with something that is perfectly valid and is going to be a perfectly, as we've seen, one of the better ways usually, or one of the middle of the pack ways to play in your codex. Sure. And so there's no reason not to give it a go before the codex drops, because you just get yourself a little bit more familiar, especially seeing as your army rule, like your Dark Pact, your whatever, isn't going to significantly change. Significantly being, it's not going to be completely rewritten.
No, you're absolutely right with that, because like the ones that we've seen right now, even the ones that do change, it's very minor. Sometimes that very minor change does fundamentally change the way that it plays, but you can still play it the same way and just kind of make those few little tweaks. If you're familiar with it, it's a lot easier to make those adjustments.
Yeah, exactly right. So we have one list for your viewing pleasure from this, and this is, I looked through a bunch of lists, and then I saw this one, and I'm like, done. This is the one, ridiculous, and I want to play it so much. This is Marshall Peterson, Astra Militarum Combined Regiment. This thing is bonkers, and I think it'll be so much fun. 3 Death Rider commanders. So that's the Death Corps of Creed.
That should give you a hint if you're not seeing the
commander.
spirit now. You're listening after the fact of what's coming
This is
this list.
This is the charge of the Light Brigade, boys. This is it. Lord Solar, 2 military command squads, 3 primary psychers, which is very cute. Ursula Creed, 3 Taurox primes, and they have missile launchers and autocannons for those curious. 3x10 Rough Riders, so maximum Rough Riders. 3x10 Death Riders, maximum Death Riders. That is 60 horsey boys.
60 horses.
60 horses. That is then 10 Kassakin and 3 units of 5 Tempesta Scions. Each one of them will almost certainly be getting a primary psyker, and 2 of them will be getting command squads. They'll go into Taurox primes because the primary psyker actually has a pretty decent gun, and it gets the sustained hits and the rerolls to hit against units on objectives when it joins the Tempesta squads. And then when they disembark from the Taurox, they get rerolls to wound. So the primary psychers actually
think of that.
Actually pop off. They're
that's
like
spicy.
Bang, 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 bang.
I
Go up
like
a couple
that.
of levels. I like it a lot. I think that is really sick. And then it's just got 60 horsey boys.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to love here? So that's
Oh,
really
man.
cool tech in there. And then 60 horses. Because
Just 60 horses.
If he owns
It's
them,
like-
I would do it too. 100% I'd do it.
We have green tide at home.
Yeah.
I'm saying amount of legs.
Yeah, it's right. It's right. It's when you add them up, it's what 120 legs.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
4
no,
legs.
plus-
Way
plus
more
the,
legs
uh,
than that.
Yeah. 240
Plus the
legs.
riders.
But they can all be recycled. All the Rough Riders can be recycled for 2 CP, and you'll be getting a lot more CP from Lord Solar, who's the king of horsey boys. He is essentially the king of Rohan.
Is this actually one of the few times you would see Lord Solar join a Rough Rider squad?
I think he should. I
He
think it's
has
the
to,
right
right?
thing to do.
There's no way
Just
he can't
put
be
him
part
on
of
the
one of these
front.
squads.
Send him in.
Yeah.
This is actually a list where even though he's got really awkward timing on his scout ability, on his redeployability rather, is really awkward timing because you do it before the roll to see he goes first, but you can just terrify people like 60 horses on the front. And now they're in the back after they deploy their back line. You're like, now we're in the back. But yeah, this list actually punches really well. Like each one of the Rough Riders can be hitting on 3s. 2s with strength 9 AP 4 D6 damage. So they can actually pop off and do a bunch of wounds, bunch of damage. And then they're kind of weirdly durable. Like they've got a 4-up save, which can be ordered to be a 3-up save. And then you can recycle them. So you can end up playing with more like 100 horsey boys across the game.
It's a lot of horsey boys.
Yeah, I do. But I love the Taurox Prime packages. I think they're very
really
spicy.
like that. That's spicy.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So we've seen with Astra Militarum, originally it was like all indirect fire, and then we moved away from indirect fire. Now we moved away from takes altogether. Like, what is this?
Yep.
Horses.
Yep. 3 light tanks essentially is all that there is. No sentinels, no nothing. The only thing I'd love to have in this list is ratlings. If I was to do this list, I'd probably find a way. Maybe the Kassakin go for 2 units of ratlings because they're 60 points each, and the Kassakin.
It's sad that the Kassakin and what you're looking at the drop from that, but you're right.
I know.
That's exactly.
I know.
That's what you drop.
It's because I don't have time to do the analysis, and that's just clean. That's just clean 2 units of ratlings.
I actually think though, with you saying that, both y'all saying that, is that there's a certain quality to this quantity, and where you start chipping away at any of it, then you are then diluting what this list I think is very capable of doing. And then I think you might be right on with it with the Kassakin there. That's the easiest thing to shift out because it doesn't inherently have any synergy or that beauty in the quality.
In saying that, the only reason I would want the ratlings is so they can infiltrate and stop my opponent if I go second against World Eaters from killing 30 horses. That's pretty much why I would want it. But I'm assuming Marshall's got some other plans because of course the Kassakin scout they can just line up on the front line, scout 6, do some blocking maneuvers there, and then you can re-rack them. The only thing that I question is its ability to pop transports, but I suppose that's what the Taurox packages are there to do. So it probably totally.
I'm telling you right now, Marshall, I am stealing that idea and I am trying it out because that fascinates me. I think that's really.
I've been
full credit to
with
Marshall
it
right here. This is great. I'm trying this. This is great.
So that package is known, but this is the first time I've seen it taken en masse and tried to be wielded as like a proper archetypal portion of the list, like an actual proper investment into it. I've seen some people take a single package of, Command Squad, 5 Scions, Primaris Psyker. This is the first time I've seen the triple, and I'm really excited to see if it does well. I'll be tracking this list extensively, and then I'll be like, so you went second? And he's like, yeah, I went second, and my army died. My army just died. But this list is going to be such a good time for both players, because everyone's going to enjoy playing into this. Yeah, exactly right.
Everything will be fine.
That is your BAO, gentlemen. We got some picks. Let's go. I'm going first.
Yeah, you pick first.
I'm picking Astra Military. Screw you. You got it last time. I'm picking them this time.
That's what you're picking.
I'm picking the horses. Ponies to the podium.
Yeah, Dustin, you go for it.
I already picked Orcs. I feel like I'm not gonna. I shouldn't do it again. I'll do CSM. Let's do CSM.
Yeah, not a bad pick. And Paul, you're the Orcs.
Well, I'll go with Orcs then.
Good stuff.
But this time, I do think it will be Bully Boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see Bully Boys, reign supreme. And yeah, like we said, the meta adjustment for Bully Boys is taking hordes, because I legitimately think Green Tide annihilates Bully Boys.
Yeah.
In the Orc mirror match, but the Bully Boys loses to Unending Swarm, like we saw, and there's probably some other stuff in the meta that could be skewed to go in that direction as well. But then people just take Green Tide and have no problems with any of that nonsense.
Okay, so wait, Paul, for these calls, because you're making some pretty specific calls on attachments there. So are you willing to go all in terms of if you get the actual attachment, you get an additional point, but if you get the wrong attachment, you get 1 less point?
We can start doing that. I'll put in brackets, Bully Boys, if you want, Paul. If you want it.
Yeah,
I'll call it. You're gonna call it. Call it.
Yeah, I like that. All right, cool. Yep, we're adding a new facet to this this game we're playing with each other. I'm here for it.
Do you want the Horde one and the other? They're gonna call as well, or you didn't call Orcs? I don't think.
No, I didn't. No, we'll leave it for that. We'll see how that one. We'll see how that one goes, and we'll see if we double down. Because Paul doesn't know how many. There could be no.
That's true. There could be
green tides. There could be 0 green. It could all just be Bully Boys and Dreadmob.
Look.
So I'm the one doing the analysis. I feel like it's a little unfair for me to me to pick, because I'm the one that looks at all the lists. But anyway,
whatever you think keeps y'all competitive.
Keeps us in the game. Give us a chance.
Give us a chance, Paul.
Yeah, give us a chance, Paul.
The next event we're going to cover is the International Team Tournament. This is from Birmingham, England. I had to check because we got lots of Birminghams over here.
Yeah, there's only one over there. It's weird. It's weird. They said that every other country has to have multiple Birminghams, but England was only allowed to have one.
There you go. I'm surprised over here it's not New Birmingham for us.
Yeah.
But how far is it from London?
Ooh. Birmingham or New Birmingham?
New Birmingham, yes.
Original Birmingham. I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. So 350 players, 70 teams of 5 in a 6-round event. I see the team tournament action happening over there.
A huge event.
Okay, so again, because this is a team tournament with 70 teams, it means you won't see any more than 70 of any faction represented. I'd be shocked if we saw 70 of something. The closer we get to 50%, though, that is what is considered the best in the meta right now. So anything at 35 or closer to 35 or over, and we're going to see what England or Birmingham specifically thinks is the best in the meta right now. So the Imperial faction.
It's the ITT, baby. It's an international team.
Sorry, that's right. That's right. So it's actually,
and it has.
This is more of a European thing then.
You just zip up in the channel.
Yeah, that's right. Just straight through. It's just over there. It's literally you look over there. Oh, there's another country.
Yeah.
Look left. Oh, there's another one.
I do think that's cool, and I'm constantly fascinated by that.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the cuisines within a day's travel.
True.
That's
true. Cuisines. Oh, okay. So the Imperial faction, there is an Imperial agent. Okay, there's definitely only one of those.
Yeah.
That's
so. Pump the brakes for a sec. If anybody watching this visually is annoyed that every faction is smaller and it's harder for you to see this breakdown, blame that guy.
Yeah,
I had to rescale the entire. I had to clone the slide and completely recalibrate our thing to fit that guy in there.
Oh, the Imperial agent.
Of course,
that was his mission. That's his mission from Eisenhorn or whatever.
Yeah,
is just screw the show up.
Screw the show. Yeah, it's a plan. Generations in the making.
Sorry,
Sorry, Dustin.
How dare you? Okay, moving on then. 14 Sisters of Battle, 8 Custodes, 3 Admech, 21 Astra Militarum, 22 Grey Knights, outnumbering the Astra Militarum, 2 Imperial Knights, Space Marines, there's 19 Dutch Astartes, 7 Dark Angels, 6 Space Wolves, 9 Blood Angels, 1 Death Watch, and 9 Black Templar, which technically means they're at the 51 mark. So that at least Space Marines in some flavor are considered to be pretty much you include them on your team as much as you can. Chaos, there's 11 Chaos Space Marines, 24 T-Suns, 11 Death Guard, 13 World Leaders, 9 Demons, and 17 Chaos Knights. Ooh, spicy. Xenos, the 37 Necrons. There's the first one, over 50%. Orcs at 39, so there's another one. 16 Tau, 15 Votan. Wow. Oh, that's a higher number than I was expecting. Hive Mind, there's 8 Tyranids and 3 G. There's less G-Star cult players here than two of the U.S. events.
Then a less than half event. There's 11 in the U.S. There's only 6 over here. God. So 3. Yeah.
Okay, and Eldari, there's 10 Drukhari and 20 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Adeptus Astartes technically topping it off with 51. Orcs at 39, Necrons at 37 being the only ones that are over 50%. The next closest is Thousand Suns at 24, then Grey Knights at 22, Astra Militarum at 21. What do you think of that spread?
That is not unexpected.
I feel like the first 4 are just like, even like the T's. I'm lumping in the T-Suns with that because I actually feel like those ones are the best for teams right now.
I 100% agree. T-Suns in teams, if you have the player, and T-Suns do need the player. It's not a faction you can just pick up. You can just pick up and roll with. Space Marines, I do believe you can make a list where you can just pick up and rock and roll. Some of the better lists, like the Vanguard, like the Sons of Sanguinius, do need a little bit more finesse. But you can just slap down an Ironstorm spearhead and just chuck anyone on it and just be like, just use Oath Good and you'll be fine. It just rolls like that. But yeah, Adeptus Astartes number 1. It's always pretty much going to be number 1, and the reason it's in brackets because it's pretty much always going to be number 1 in every team's event, and so it's in brackets. Orcs, Necrons, Thousand Suns. Yeah, absolutely, I agree, mate. If you have the player for the Thousand Suns, that should be 1, 2, 3. But do expect Chaos Space Marines to make an argument that they should replace T-Suns, I believe, in the third place coming up soon.
I don't even know about replacing them, but maybe tied.
Yeah, I just expect their faction numbers to push out T-Suns, and T-Suns will be 4th. And the reason being, a lot of the people are Chaos Space Marine specialists or who play T-Suns. And when Chaos Space Marines is in their mind more worthwhile taking than Thousand Suns, we'll see a swing, numbers wise, more towards them because they'll rob a little bit of that player base to get onto the Chaos Space Marines, the new hotness. Grey Knights and Astra Militarum, absolutely to be expected as well. If you got a good artillery player, slap them down, use them as a put up, take the heavy table, let people up, whatever.
It's still surprising to see the Astra Militarum that high up in numbers after the hit they took, because I know a lot of them kind of switched really hard and might not have been as good of a skew into team lists, but it doesn't mean they're not good into it. I know a lot of players kind of got disenchanted with it.
Essentially, the list that people were taking with the sometimes 18 Bulgur and sometimes 30 Kassakin and 4 indirect pieces, you just drop a Basilisk and you can just play the list again. It's the same list. I don't expect people to be doing that because 120 point Kassakin is a lot. Bulgur is still very worthwhile, but the indirect platforms, you're probably down to 2 or 3 pieces now, which is totally fine because Lord Solo's only got 3 orders, so who cares? Whatever.
I mean, even like the Manticores, they were in the meta mainly for like Custodes, right? Because they're one of the best 3 wound models you really needed.
Correct.
For, right?
Well, yeah, but now for the same reason, they smash Meganobs. As soon as the Meganobs aren't on the war turn, they pick them up. So that is really quite good.
They suffer from Basilisk so much.
That's exactly right as well. You Basilisk the one you don't want to have to shoot that turn, then you double Manticore the other one you're trying to work on, and then you use 10 Catachans to zone off the third if you have to, and just throw some dudes into the meat grinder. Really exciting spread. At this point I always like to do put the microphone glass on the Space Marine super faction because it's always a little bit of an insight. Way more vanilla Adeptus Astartes than I would have thought. I didn't have time to check all 19 lists to see if they all were true Adeptus Astartes or they were just like lazy Dark Angels players playing Gladius and stuff, so they listed themselves as Adeptus Astartes. But the delineation between Blood Angels and Templars is quite exciting. They're sitting at parity right now, where it used to be Blood Angels were usually about half of what Templars were, but now I think it is a very good argument that Blood Angels are better than Templars.
What do you think's holding the Templars up is the fact they gave multi-meltas on things.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the big thing,
That, and they've still got some of the best characters in the game. Helbrecht is still absolutely amazing.
Sure.
If you want to skew into something that'll be good into Bully Boys, taking Righteous Crusaders and just having an enormous amount of two wound guys with a feel no pain into 2 damage weapons can be really awkward. especially when you can, armor contempt them against the AP2 or AP3 attacks, and you just got too many bodies. And then you still have like 3 power fists in there, so you still, when they're off the war turn, you'll still kill a couple of mega nobs. So yeah, I do think there's some arguments for Black Templars being able to play one of the skew lists that can hold up versus some of the orc lists, and then I think the same argument can hold true for some of the Chaos Space Marine lists when they come out. But I mean, Ironstorm's still a hell of a thing. Ironstorm's still, compared to the hits that Astra Militarum took, and they're still holding up numbers. I mean, the Ironstorm took less hits, and so why should we expect them not to hold up the numbers, I guess? But yeah, like I said, I actually believe into the current meta, especially with Chaos Space Marines about to come in. I like Blood Angels more, the most right now, into what I believe will be the next environment with Orcs and Chaos Space Marines, being a big problems for a lot of armies.
Like specifically the Sons of Sanguinius, you mean, like with Blood Angels?
Yeah.
That attachment is actually really good.
It's because we didn't think so when they got their revamp and they got the extra strength on the charge, like their +2 strength. But that break point is everything right now,
it is.
And it's just huge. It gets them over the toughness 6 really, really nicely on the multitude of different weapon profiles.
It's tough. I want you to be correct right now.
Yeah,
I want to feel that. I want to be playing that sleeve one with the models that go well with that.
Yeah,
it feels like that you've got to get through some very difficult matchups if you're that build to get the build where that matters.
That's correct.
And it's not impossible. And maybe that's it. Maybe that is you have to tech for the last games 5 and 6.
Well, mate, you're exactly right, because there's some weird and wonky mid-tier stuff that gives the Sons of Sanguinius a hard time. You're absolutely right. There's a couple of mid-board, mid-strength factions at the moment that aren't the top.
The things you're more likely to encounter in round 2 and 3.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Where you can just kind of fold. You can just kind of fold because they've got great profiles into a toughness 4 2 wound chassis, which is essentially what you're proliferating. You're just taking an army of like, I move 12, have 2 wounds and toughness 4, and then you're like, well, I'm playing guard, and I'm going to kill a unit and a half of Death Company every single turn. And if I go first, you're in trouble. Like, just straight up, you're in trouble, because I'm going to half move this one, kill this one, half kill this one. Half move this one, kill this one, half kill this one, and then your army just kind of evaporates. So there are some really wonky ones out there for the Blood Angels, but against the top, I think they're the best. But yeah, to your point, like the Ironstorm just kind of blows through that stuff, just kind of like not
That's
worried
what it feels like. Again, I want it to be right though. I mean, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. And then T-Sons is just X factor as hell. Like sometimes at T-Sons, like you can charge Magnus with your Death Company unit, and he just laughs at you, kills half the unit, falls back, and you blow up. Stuff like that can just happen. Or Necrons get really awkward sometimes if they just make the right amount of invulns and feel no pains. It can get awkward out there for some of these lists, which is good. That's good, man. That's exactly what we freaking want from a meta. Something that is rotating, where one list isn't always the best at the time, Bully Boys. But we even seen Bully Boys, who people thought was going to be like meta defining game ending, actually like finding legitimate hurdles in the meta, and I think that is just really cool. But to close out coverage of the ITT, we didn't pull out any teams. There's some extremely strong teams. I didn't have the extra hour in my day. I do apologize to pull this one out. Plus, we're into the last 10 minutes of the show, and it's time to fuego. But
we got to pick who we think is going to be winning the highest battle points over the course of this weekend. And instead of picking a winning team, we do pick the army that we think will have the highest battle points, which can be difficult to pick sometimes because,
I'm going to go first. I'm going to go Adeptus Astartes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I'll go
I expect there to be some nonsense double Storm Raven lists that just go first, like on 6 games, and just do dumb stuff to people. But what do you want to pick, Paul?
Thousand Sons is my pick. It was my pick as soon as I saw the faction. I was like, could y'all just quit talking about Thousand Sons? Because if I don't get my pick, like...
Well, that's the thing, yeah. 1,000 Sons in Europe, 1,000 Sons are incredibly strong. They have some reason the players in Europe are just able to do stuff that even in Australia, New Zealand, United States, we haven't quite seen replicated, where they just have 1,000 Sons players annihilating team events after team events after team events. So I think that's a great pick, Paul.
I love it. In is in the chat saying it's playing Chaos Space Marine, so that's what's going to win this thing. So I like it. Look, anytime there's a player in the chat, I really love seeing it, and I love it when they call the shot. But the list
there. Shot. Yeah, baby. I put CSM in it for you, Dustin. Which
you know what? Fine. It is. Don't let me down, man. Like I'll take CSM then.
Well, Inez, are you doing the pairings for your team? He's playing a team from.
If you're doing the pairings for your team, absolutely, I'll take CSM.
He's going to flat track himself. He's going to flat track himself straight into 20s every
and that's
game.
fine. So yeah,
get the real glory here.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Love it. Well done, Jets. That's the end of the coverage of the international team tournament.
So this is the palate cleanser time where, look, we would actually normally like have a sponsor right now. We say this segment is sponsored by so-and-so. You should go and check out so-and-so because so-and-so is great and they believe in us. And so you should believe in them and do that kind of stuff. So in place of that, we're going to say you should go and check out our Patreon because we're going to sponsor ourselves for this segment. And the Patreon, of course, this show takes a whole lot of effort to put together. And one way to say what's up and you appreciate that is check us out on Patreon. It's not the only way, but every tier over there is amazing. And if you are able to do that and choose to do that, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please give it a shot.
We love you, our patrons.
Love you all. Love you all. Always appreciate it. We do have.
All right.
What we did say we would do the last time we did this.
Oh, here we go.
We have to do the DC.
Is this is where I just weep for 10 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, really?
Openly weep
of what could have been.
Yeah.
We have to. Well, I mean, we can cinematic universe. Do we include like the Justice League? Not anime. Is it an anime?
So
I don't think. No. Here's the weird thing: is that all those brilliantly crafted animated movies don't count. I don't think.
Okay. Do not count.
All the best bits.
This will be a lot harder. This will be a lot harder. Okay, so today's theme will be the DC Cinematic Universe, like we did for Marvel. Let's go. First one. The best villain. This is, again, the cinematic universe, remember. So you can't say Darkseid because he's doesn't do anything.
No, Darkseid's in there.
Yeah, sure.
But he doesn't do anything.
But he's not it. He doesn't do anything.
He's not it, no. He's not. And so there isn't a good Joker in the DC Cinematic Universe either, right? Is the Joker movie? Is the Joker movie like with Joaquin Phoenix?
Heath Ledger count? Is the Heath Ledger? Is that part of the cinematic universe?
Was that? I didn't think that was in the DC.
No,
EU. I didn't think Dark Knight.
The
Dark Knight trilogy was.
No, I guess it wasn't.
I don't. It does it count? We need to know because that's it. If
okay,
it is, that's it.
We can agree with that one. If that counts, then that's it. But I don't think it counts. But Joker does. The Joker movie is part of the DC universe because they are.
That's Christopher Nolan, right? I don't think his stuff counts.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
Part of the DC EU anymore.
It would be 100% unequivocally no chance or competition if it was.
Best villain.
You know who it isn't?
Zack Snyder.
Motherbox boy. Yes! Zack Snyder, the best villain. It's probably true.
I think that's it. I think that's it. That's the one. Zack Snyder.
Villain. Omega level S tier villain. Zack Snyder.
Absolutely. We have solved it. Well done, Paul. That is
he did it.
Yeah, that's
my Hollywood career is over.
I dare chat to come up with a better answer than that.
So the reason I wouldn't say Joker because in the Joker film that was out, I argue he wasn't a villain. He was a tragic anti-hero.
I do think that's a great
film.
That's a movie story about mental health. It really is.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. He was not an active villain. He was the protagonist, if anything, of that movie. So yeah. KR Quinn. Okay, we won that Fuego.
Yeah, that one is just that's gold medal for that one. That's gold medal.
It is. Right. That's the banana sticker.
But now we can.
I believe what we're talking about is everything from Justice League on, like Batman vs Superman.
Well, and before that, like
so
I think
Aquaman,
you have like
Wonder Woman
before that, the Superman's part of it too. Like anything that they kind of tie in together. There's still quite a few of them, just nothing that's memorable. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, film only, or the cinematic universe. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the best hero.
My pick would have been Wonder Woman up until the last movie.
But Wonder Woman, she's actually really good. I actually really like their take on Wonder Woman.
They did Wonder Woman very well.
There's like some stuff in that movie that I don't feel comfortable talking about on this show.
Really?
the most recent Wonder Woman.
That,
just okay with human possession and like all this. It was horrifically morally bad.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, very unheroic.
I think I blocked that one out of my head because I liked the first one. I thought the first one was
dude, I loved the first one.
Yeah,
I thought the first one was exceptional.
It felt like Captain America, but just better.
I'm going to go with Aquaman.
Whoa. Really?
He's the most likable. Like straight up, he's the most likable.
I'm looking at cinematic universe. You might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, part of that is Momoa just being Momoa. And
Yeah.
you just like you can't dislike the dude. He can do no wrong. But yeah, he nailed Aquaman. Like he did nail it. The rest of the movie around him is absolutely debatable.
It was definitely one of the few adaptations of Aquaman that made me like the character because I generally don't like Aquaman.
He is so forgettable and boring as hell.
Yeah.
But
Momoa
made him
in the comics, like when they made him, like when they cut his hand off, he's had some cool.
Yeah.
Like he's had a power creep very similar to how Wonder Woman has had her power creep. Like Wonder Woman is on par with Superman until Superman goes just nuts.
Like when I watched like the Flashpoint movie, he was pretty cool in that one. But that's like a darker version of him, right?
Does Cavill's Superman warrant a look?
Oh no, he's amazing. It's just hard. It's hard for Superman. Him portraying Superman is also amazing, but I think that. Like when you're just doing best pound for pound hero in the movies that he's been in.
Well,
Aquaman.
I don't like Superman. I'm sorry. I'm going to put that out there right now. I love Henry Cavill. I do not like Superman.
I like the first Superman movie, which I actually don't think counts for DCEU. So
no, it has to count. It counts.
Yeah,
because Zod comes back in the Flashpoint stuff, and it's the same Zod from that movie.
Yeah.
He was a great villain, by the way. Zod was a dead set great villain.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do a serious one. Okay.
He's second to Snyder. It's a big distance between.
Big distance between.
Gap.
He's more like a B villain, B tier, right? So, but
they did a good job of making you sympathize with his his motivations and moralities.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. All right.
And I do agree. It's the vehicle in which we had the absolute perfect Superman. Which I will say, there's been great Superman performances, but we had the perfect Superman in a script that needed some help.
Yes,
that was correct.
I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Rank your top 3 movies series from the cinematic universe. Okay. Wonder Woman #1 is got to be.
Yeah, it's probably number 1.
Probably number 1. The first one.
This is gonna be hard.
The other ones, like I got to think of the other ones that were good. Man.
Suicide Squad.
Yes, I'll take that. Yeah. The second Suicide Squad.
I like.
Aquaman. Suicide Squad 1 and 2.
Well, I didn't like the first.
Oh, sorry, Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman
first.
First
Wonder Woman. I didn't love the first Suicide Squad. I thought the second Suicide Squad was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed the second.
They did a good job.
It was better. Yeah,
I actually liked the acting and the portrayals of the characters in the first Suicide Squad, but the overall plot was a pile of crap.
Yeah,
they just did nothing for me. The actual story.
You're right. I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten that it was a different, as bad as it was. I apologize. Take number 1 off the list.
First Shazam is a good call.
Okay.
That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah. That's like a medium good movie where the vast majority are crap as all hell movies. I think First Shazam could be up there.
Yeah, maybe that's the only reason I'm not considering it because I liked it. I definitely enjoyed it.
But I actively liked it. Whereas I watched the vast majority I watched was like, give me my time and
what
money
are you
back.
guys' opinions on Black Adam?
Didn't watch it. I was already so checked out of the DCU that I didn't touch it.
It could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
It just could have been better. It did the same thing where they just sometimes they just sabotage themselves with the story, and it seems bizarre to do that, and I don't get it. And even in Shazam 1, where I thought they kind of sabotaged themselves by going with Family of Shazams or whatever, that's actually in the comic. I can't hate it.
I actually really like the Black Adam character. I think it's a really cool and well written character. But they portrayed none of that in the movie.
Fuego.
So what do we have? We had first Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had the second Suicide Squad and Shazam.
Yeah. What was the other one you said, Paul? You said another one that I actually agreed with.
Oh, I don't remember.
You said Suicide 1 and 2, but another one as well. What did you say?
Oh, I said Aquaman, but I was thinking
Aquaman. I liked Aquaman.
So it was if you just removed one line from Batman vs Superman, I could almost take it.
So the Batman
one scene
trilogy
just
does
deleted.
not count in this, but the only Batman movie does is like Batman versus Superman, and I guess Justice League. Batman's in it.
Birds of Prey. That's
I never saw it.
the...
I can't comment on that one.
Yeah, I had checked out by then as well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if the Nolan ones were injected in here, it would be Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and then maybe first Wonder Woman, right?
Yes, I would agree with that.
I didn't like the last of the Nolan trilogy. No. I thought it was a freaking mess.
No, you don't need to explain yourself on that one. I'm with you. I am with you.
Fair.
Okay. Next one. Which one was the most accurate adaptation of a comic book storyline? Good luck, Paul.
Paul, take it away.
Good luck.
Let's go.
Oh, this is so rough. It's like, unfortunately, like DC is, especially in the last like 15, 20 years, just reboots itself. Like they'll just I guess let's just reset the whole world and start over again and carry continuity that we want. I kind of think that the Shazam is closest.
Because of the
Shazam is yeah.
Well, just the fact that they carried forward the actual history and then the actual kids stuff.
The Suicide Squads were pretty. The plots weren't accurate, but the story of like the Suicide Squad was
like the backstories
perfect.
and the characters in them.
Yeah,
the
backstories, how they
name like bringing them together. I can't remember
exactly.
her name.
Right. And she was one of the best characters in all of the DCEU. She's freaking amazing. I can't remember the name of the actress, but she's incredible in that role. It's just like I'm a absolute brutality in middle management incarnate. You're like, oh, just terrifying. But yeah, the actual story of the Suicide Squad and their formation and their purpose and stuff, that was perfect. But then the overall linear plot of the story was trash.
Right. Okay.
So probably not. Sorry, I just
I mean, character-wise, you're right though. Character-wise, it's pretty accurate. It's just a matter of
was the first Wonder Woman very accurate? I don't think it was. Right. They kind of just made up a lot of that.
I think the beginning area, like the history behind Wonder Woman, maybe, but not the movie plot itself. If that made sense.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. First Aquaman, accurate, relatively, like all the Atlantis stuff and the family lineage and infighting and him getting the trident and stuff like that. That seems pretty, from what I know as a kid.
Seems like a movie,
man. Yeah, it seems like a movie. I think you're probably. What was your first call, Paul?
Shazam.
Yeah, I think that's probably good.
Shazam is probably the one.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's what we're going with. Lock it in. Final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last but not least, I believe, which storyline character should be next?
Green Lantern, baby.
Well, I mean, they do need to do a good one. Right?
They do. I mean, Ryan Reynolds was the right cast for the character.
He was,
but once again, they cast good characters and then they S the bed in every other manner possible.
How on earth does that? I mean, what is that green floating entity like? Is traveling through deep space and just like decides to come to Earth, and 2 minutes later it's there. There. I do think that he definitely, like, Ryan Reynolds obviously loves the art and is the right person for the job. Like, give him the keys, whatever, to Green Lantern. I bet if he did it all again, it's a different story altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know they're redoing Blade. So Blade's about to pop.
So we can't say that then.
Yeah,
that's not.
Can't say that.
But that was actually going to be a good one that I would say because I love Blade.
I mean,
Blade's Marvel, so
that's true. Shit. Big faux pas there by Adam. Sorry, but
and I just doubled down with you. How dare you bring me down with you?
What I don't want to see is more Batman. Give Batman a break for a good 5 more years, please. Let us just have a break from like 2 decades of nonstop Batman.
Or give us Grant Gustin's Flash.
Oh yeah, he was actually good. Flash. I liked him.
Was it? Yeah, not a bad Flash at all.
So actually, do you ever watch the? I don't even know if this one counts, but on Netflix, the Titan show.
Oh yeah, Teen Titans. Yeah, I've watched a couple of.
I thought that was actually
on
good.
HBO Max. I think. Right?
Is it HBO Max?
Maybe they're broadcasting on Netflix too, but yeah.
I actually thought that was pretty good. I liked the storylines that they're doing with that one.
So here's one for you.
Okay.
Do you know how we've got a beautiful portrayal of the Joker and his machinations and all those things and the way he came to be? I would like to see the same for Lex Luthor.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
You don't think people are kind of just worn out on millionaires trying to like go to space and stuff?
that would be the juxtaposition. That would be the tongue in cheek, like poignant, pop culture play on it. That's literally you nailed the brief there, Paul.
Yeah,
it would be an ironic. It would be an ironic
you're pointing
story.
it to the masses now. Everybody's like, oh yeah,
tragic nepo baby, delusions of grandeur. Always trying, never quite getting daddy's approval, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
The concept, I know we're out of time, but the concept of Green Lantern is my favorite thing in the DC universe. And so kind of looking forward to seeing some of that. Like, and I'd love to see Hal Jordan, or John. What's his name? John's Martian Manhunter. John Stewart. Green Lantern would be awesome.
Yeah, okay.
I agree.
I like it.
Yeah, I like the idea of redoing Green Lantern, because that's far enough in the past that a whole new lease on life could be given to the character. And yeah, I agree. I think it's cool.
Just in it for the memes.
But that's it.
Fuego.
Oh, that is our show this week. Great turn. Look, we covered 4 events. I know that we kind of abbreviated our coverage, but I thought it was also great that we covered 4 events and showing the magnitude of what is happening in Warhammer each and every week. And so if you're curious about getting out there and being a part of it, know that you will be in good company with hundreds of other like-minded folks out there rolling dice.
We're the Meta Chasers, baby. We got to chase it wherever it may go, wherever it may be.
Wherever the meta is, we will be there.
There we go. We're breaking out our maps and carrying on. Maybe we need like explorer hats and whatever, but it's out there all over the place. It has been a pleasure, chat. Y'all been absolutely amazing. If you're listening to us after the fact, please don't forget to leave us those 5-star reviews. Leave some comments. Like, share, subscribe. Do all the things that the algorithms want you to do. And more importantly, come back next week. We'll be here to see you. Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys.
Night, everybody.